60 seconds.
How do you through the Cork prison? How do you view this, Kerry? It's like the worst week of all time.
Well, I did the rounds text. I was like, would they battle it now if they'd asked from this point at half time? Was the point further cleared in Cork, and a tighter game as well. But they did the job. But it looked at one point in the 50th minute, it was like, you never know here. When Donegal got back to 4 points, Paddy McBrearty comes on, immediately shoots. It looks like it's gone over from the TV perspective, goes wide. Darrow Beale has a couple of wides. So they had 3 wides in a row when they got back to 4 points. It could have been a serious game. But no 2-pointers. No. None in sight for Donegal. No goal opportunities, really. So they're always just that step behind. But sure, it was more the first half when Kerry went 9 points up early.
That was it. And there was that was the end of the jeopardy, really. Like it was such a brilliant performance in the first 20 minutes.
Gavin White in the first 6 minutes alone.
That got him man of the match. It's like there's Niall Quinn gave Damien Duff man of the match in a game. He was co-com on, and Duff basically had 2 runs in the first 40 seconds. Like, I don't think anybody's ever won man of the match in the first minute. Did he come on? If memory serves, he came off the bench, and I was like, but certainly it was the same with Gavin White. Now, look, David is the man of the match. You were saying before the game, it's like Messi. He's man of the match every game he plays, even when he isn't. He is.
9 points, 6 points in old money. Still very effective. Didn't touch the ball to the 9th minute, and that was his first
2-pointer
of the hat-trick of 2-pointers he got in the first half.
That was the winning of the game, really.
My favourite moment. My favourite moment, though. I see the winning of the game. You could possibly say the last touch of the ball in the first half, when there was 5 points in it at that point. But Clifford picks up the ball, and for 2 minutes they're just strolling about the place, and there's boos going around the crowd, which must have been louder again for you and the Cusack. And right on the hooter, they were about 5 yards from the touchline. I thought they were going to pass it in. And then suddenly, Clifford comes alive.
There's incredible fan footage doing the rounds on Twitter. If anybody hasn't seen it yet, where somebody is literally sitting in Lower Hogan filming McCole and Clifford, David, for that. And you can see Paddy in the background doing the toe tap, toe tap, toe tap, toe tap. Do-do-do. And David makes the run at the very last second after the hooter sounds and kicks it.
Yeah.
But McCole was there the whole time. Like, McCole did a very good job. Guaranteed himself an All-Star. Did as good a job as it's possible to do. You were scoffing when I was like, how good keeping him to what is a good job. 9 points. They did good.
Sure. I mean, it was more or less.
What can you do?
Well, it's not that what can you do. I'm not saying that there's a secret formula to do it, but I'm not there. It's not just because if you're not good enough to mark him, it's not necessarily a slight against you. It's just the way it is. But you can't say he's done a good job. Relative, maybe. You can't do relativity, but
comparatively, he did okay. He did okay for this year. In terms of the Ulster trilogy, he did the best.
The All-Star wasn't won yesterday.
No. It's in the fact that he is the best man marker in the country who's kept all of the marquee forwards quiet, and in the final, he kept David to
9 points.
He kept David to. Largely a decoy role in the first half.
But he's very quiet in the second half, Dave Clifford.
It's okay.
For large portions of it, and then at the end he comes alive again. But there's that bouncy ball where Clifford's made it his own this year, particularly where he catches it on a high hop and he turns. And there was one point where McCall beats him to that in the second half. So it's there was mini victories, but it's kind of the story of the match is that I don't think Donegal battled it, and it's not like they didn't show up. They did, but they just didn't show up enough. They
didn't show up at the start. And look, respectively,
they had 2 good spells. 10 minutes in the first half,
but it was too late,
and before that in the second half as well.
Yeah,
so it's
such an effort to come back.
Yeah, they just never. And there was 2 things that happened at half time. It was Kerry to significantly drop off and them to raise their game. That's 2 massive things that happened in 35 minutes. It was too much at that point. But it's the start of the game that killed them. But they did make it competitive. It's easy now to say, 10-point victory, that was easy enough for Kerry. 15 minutes to go, there was 4 points in it. It was on the verge of being very, very good. But it was Gavin White again. It was that Gavin White point where he runs past 4 or 5 Donegal players before fisting it over. That was huge. And then Johnny O'Shea gets the 2-point free after Shane Ryan slipped in his effort.
Yeah.
Identical positioning.
They're like, no.
And that actually killed the game.
It's kind of like the semi-final, where they bet Tyrone by 6 points.
Well, that was very flat. That was very flattering for Tyrone. This was 10 points.
I still think the 4 points at that point, it never felt like they were getting back.
It didn't, right? The only thing is that if Donegal had somehow found it within themselves to kick some 2-pointers, that would have changed. But the sense was that they were never going to do that.
Was that McBrearty effort a 2-pointer? I think it was by memory,
You could be right.
and that would have gone back to 2.
Yeah, it was
So,
very strange. They weren't even looking to build it up. It seems
Weird. It was like Dublin against Tyrone, where they just had no interest in the 2-pointers. For a team who were racking them up at the start of the year, that's what we were talking about with Donegal with the 2-pointers, and they weren't interested in goals. Yesterday they were playing old football.
And that doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
Like I'm kind of loath to because it's so easy to kind of point out things that go wrong, and you presume maybe if you try that, then something else will go wrong.
Like Mark Body.
Yeah, exactly. So there must be a reason that you're like, there must be a reason they're not doing that. Because if I can see it,
well,
they'll know it.
There's a bit where you are marking Poddy and you're right beside him and he's soloing the ball in your face, and suddenly he drops the shoulder and bing, he's explosive over 5 yards. Like that, it is a level of explosiveness that I haven't seen from very many other people in short order. Like there are explosive players, like Con is explosive. He catches the ball and bounces. Poddy will like stand in front of you and he'll be gone past you. And you can be the most fast twitch player in your team, but you can't catch him. And so I wonder, I don't know how to mark somebody like that. Like,
no, he goes very deep as well. Like you're kind of upsetting the whole structure of your team, unless you're going to put a forward onto him and let him chase him around, or de facto forward or whatever. But like,
yeah, you could do that.
Like you're really kind of at the same time. Then you're going to lose something somewhere.
So do we accept that this is the birth of a super team? Come on.
Well, did you think that in 22?
No, I thought it after the Tyrone game, and I said it here, and I got
you did say
I got murdered. Macbeth doth murder sleep. Arthur's like, what are you talking about? This is bullshit. On one performance, I'm like, I'm just sorry. I'm just on the evidence of my eyes. Look at this team. Look at this team. Look at them. Look at these men. They're men.
No, they were sensational, but they're going to lose their manager now. It seems.
I'm not sure. That's.
I hope not.
Yeah,
but it looks like it's going that way.
I wouldn't hold that against them in the future. I don't think that would stop them either. Well, I mean, unbelievable figure, 5 All-Irelands and all that, first one 21 years ago.
But has only right. So 2 people. So Paddy O'Shea was there for 2000, wasn't he? So
Pat O'Shea won one, and
Pat O'Shea won one, and Eamon Fitzmaurice won one.
Yeah,
and
O'Shea was what,
of the 21st century, and Jack O'Connor's won 5 in 3 different spells.
It's amazing.
I just don't think he's as easily replaced as people would potentially think.
So the rumours are Fitzmaurice and Donaghy are putting together a ticket, or Fitzmaurice is putting a ticket together with Donaghy on it. And the other rumour is that Tomas is interested. Obviously, he's coming from success with the under-20s, relative success, and knows the playing stock. I just think the group are maturing to a point where, so no one before the final would have been like, oh, Gavin White, he's up there with any of those Dublin defenders. After the final, everyone was like, wow, look at that. Look at what he does. And that tier of players, everybody goes, are they all? And you're like, wow, they are absolutely all that. I think Jason Foley is of a level with Gavin White. I think that, like, his performance yesterday, Murphy ended up kicking 8 or 9 points. Most of them are from frees.
Yeah.
You would have said that, like, the job that Jason Foley did was nearly as good as the job that Aidan O'Mahony did all those years ago.
He cut a very frustrated figure, Murphy.
He did.
Now, a lot of the ball into him was useless as well. Like,
yeah.
But,
he was fierce. Just didn't make any sense with Donegal. We never put the ball into him properly, and then we did put the ball into him. There was one in the first half which was dire, and then in the second half there was like a kind of shank over. What? Like, come on, give me something here to work with.
I just could. I couldn't.
Joe O'Connor is a superstar.
Yeah.
Myself and Owen were getting jip outside the pub after the semi-final, and we were like, this guy, that was Jacko-esque performance. Nah, Ramesh, talking Ramesh. No, we're not, no one's accusing us of that now. Joe O'Connor is a superstar. And then you Paddy and David.
Yeah.
That's a very, 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 very good team.
Some crucial scores.
A bit like Darren McCarthy. Is he worth his position in the team? I'm not sure. Will they play the cousin? Wow. In the first half, bang, bang. Did he kick the third one in the end, did he?
Good question. All I know is he got that great one. I remember the great one after that great move where they kind of moved it over and back, and then he's there at the end of it to tap it over, and it was just like, oh, jeepers.
Yeah, wasn't.
I was surprised, to be honest with you. I can't believe that. I know we loathe to say they were bad, but I was surprised how ineffective Donegal were.
Yeah, but it's weird. But they were weirdly accurate as well. Like their first wide was 4 minutes before half time. But it just never felt like they were going to do enough to win the game, even though I took the game seriously right up until 5 minutes to go. I wouldn't totally rule them out because Kerry scored the first 2 points in the second half. So now the next few minutes here are crucial. But like Donegal have a great response. That's the 4 in a row I think they get. Michael Murphy gets 2 in a row, and they make the subs, and they just blow that moment. But it was like Kerry's ability to manage the game was a showcase for everyone else. Like that's how you do it. You know that they never panicked at all, and then they ran home like deservedly comfortable victors. There's some staggering numbers here outlined by Eamon Sweeney in this morning's Irish Independent to do with David Clifford. Like, what more can you say about him? He's getting into the Erling Haaland territory of he's difficult to analyse now because he's such a freak of nature. But there are numbers to back it up, right? So it's the greatest individual season in football history. In the championship record, he scored a total of 862. It's an average of 9 points a game. 86 points mostly coming from play. So to put that into comparative terms, since 2000, only 2 people have beaten the 60-point mark. Dean Rock in 2016 and Killian O'Connor the year after.
That's obviously with the 2 points involved.
With the 2 points involved, but in fairness, those 2 lads were largely free taken as well.
Yeah.
So most of it's from open play. But at the same time, it's a 2-point era, but it's still ridiculous numbers. What's the opposite to rookie numbers? It's that. Yeah. He was 33 points ahead of the nearest contender, which is Sean O'Shea.
Jeez.
In Kerry.
Yeah.
Right.
In Kerry.
Oh, yeah, well, sure.
Within.
But
it's the same sort of thing with those, even the 2 points.
He scored 2 hat-tricks.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
you know,
it's the new hat trick. Yeah,
if he'd scored the goal that got cleared off the line, incredible corner forward play by O'Donnell to clear it off the line from Donegal. If he'd scored the goal, do you have to make a man of the match with 1-9? He's like, he's gonna have
from play.
You know, does a goal get you? Does a goal get you player of the match?
I think All Ireland.
Even though it would have been one of the easier things he had done all game
from play.
Somebody in the Star or the Mirror tipped Joe O'Connor first goal scorer on Saturday or Friday, and I was reading it going, that's good, and I went to put the money on and got distracted and didn't. I'm like, when he's scoring the goal, Jesus, I think he would have been 20-1. Like, he was astonishing when they needed him in the first half as well. Pucked the ball down on top of him, ping, I've got it, thanks very much. And then somebody said he got a box for his troubles. Somebody realised can't be doing that much more and was quiet for 10 minutes, but then came back into it in the second half.
I just Star.
Yeah,
he's unbelievable. It's just a specimen of a man. Like, it's just outrageous. Their physical profile. Not to reduce everything like that, but like it's just they look like such an astonishing group of men. Like,
well, let's hear from Joe O'Connor, one of the men's of the moment. Talking with Tommy Rooney afterwards.
Jack O'Connor, congratulations. That was a sublime performance in an All-Ireland final, a 10-point win against Donegal. You must be so thrilled. Joe O'Connor, that was a sublime performance there in the All-Ireland final. Sensational stuff.
That was unbelievable relief, really. Probably been through a lot of hardship, this group, and so special in the final whistle.
You really have proven yourself this year after any doubters that were put your way earlier in the season.
Yeah, we were going well, and then we had the Meath game, so probably a reality check we needed. We were very poor and took it from there, one performance at a time, and so it's the holy grail really, and that's all we wanted, one performance at a time.
You started getting bodies back, but players come into form as well. You've been there all year long. You've really turned it on throughout the season. Back in 2022 you were captain, you only got a couple of minutes. What have you done with your own game, Joe, over the last couple of seasons? Because I think it's been phenomenal.
Just kept plugging away, like probably wasn't getting minutes for the first 2 years, and then just had to really work hard and talk to the management what they wanted, and was able to work my way into the team then, and management wants you to express yourself and go after games, so that's huge.
Your own football has gone through the roof. Like, how sweet is it to bury a goal into the hill at the end of an All-Ireland final? The celebration was incredible.
I don't know, I missed the load, and just unbelievable to get it. So special there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable there.
The rules this season, kick-outs have been so important. That's been such a big role for you this year throughout the year as well.
Yeah, you know, try to have a few kick-out options and short, and there's times you just have to go long and you have to be ready for it, so yeah. Class.
You're happy with that. Joe, you're the last man on the bus, so I'm going to let you go now, but congratulations.
Yeah, class. He's right. If one of the stories of the year. Will we hear from Jack O'Connor next?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, let's do Jack O'Connor next.
Jack O'Connor, congratulations. That was a sublime performance in an All-Ireland final, a 10-point win against Donegal. You must be so thrilled.
Delighted, Tommy. You know, we were very determined this morning, leaving the hotel, that we were going to put in a big performance, but wasn't sure, you know, was it going to be enough to beat Donegal, because Donegal looked really good here 2 weeks ago. But we were well tested. We were well tested coming into the game by Armagh and Tyrone, and we felt maybe we were a bit more battle-hardened. And I thought that showed at times out there.
You attacked them from the off. Can you talk us through why you did? Even Gavin White taking off in that throw-in, the kick-outs early on, the manner in which you got scores without David even touching the ball. His first touch is a 2-pointer about 8 minutes in.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned that this morning, that we were going to go after Donegal. We weren't going to sit back waiting to see what they had to offer to us. We were going to take the game to them, and no better man than Gavin. Gavin had a sensational opening quarter of an hour, and overall led by a captain's example. So, yeah, we were determined we were going to go after everything, go after the kickouts, go after breaking ball, go out, drive on, put their defence under pressure, and we managed to do that.
You were 9 up at one stage in the first half. Donegal reeled you back in, and then Clifford gets that 2-pointer on the Hooters.
That was a big score.
Massive. So you're 7 up. How did you avoid, because Donegal weren't going to give up there, how did you avoid a collapse in the second half?
Well, I suppose we mentioned the holding game last Sunday, you know, as an example of what can happen in a team. Cork went in 6 up, so we basically said, we're going out to win the second half, if only by a point. And we won it by 3 points. But we were very determined. We weren't going to sit back and, you know, let Donegal attack us. Now, they brought it back to 4 at one stage, but we managed to drive on again, and great few moments there near the end after Joe got the goal. We weren't going to be beaten then.
It's incredible. I want to ask you briefly about your leaders in a moment, but the low point of the season was probably Tullamore against Meath. You didn't put your best foot forward that day, but the manner in which you responded to it, has that been the making of this team this year?
Well, yeah. Look, you're tested in adversity. I mean, sure, everyone's all smiles when things are going well and everything's hunky dory. But we batten down the hatches, and we're a very tight unit. There's great leaders in that dressing room, like Sir Gavin White, Sean Shea, David, Paddy, Joe O'Connor. Massive leader this year, unbelievable. And I mean, the way that man has improved is just unbelievable. So, hats off to them all. We needed all those leaders out there, because that's a good Donegal team, and I'm sure they'll come again.
Well, they've led you to number 39 in terms of All-Ireland titles. It's your 5th, Jack. Will we see you back again?
Sure, who knows? No, I think we might pass on the bet on.
But it's an incredible record, Jack. From 04 to 2025, 5 All-Ireland titles. It is sublime. With so many different types of
time as well. That's the other side of it, Tommy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, fairly incredible.
Entertained.
Hmm?
Are you not entertained?
Oh, totally. It's
It looked like he was definitely going to be gone afterwards, Jack O'Connor, that he was going to call it a day. And
I think
he's a bit more coy about it, so we don't know. We're not going to hear about it for a while, but it's a great argument to have. It's like, do you continue when it's going well, or do you know when to leave on a high? Because it's very difficult to do the latter, because you always think you want more, and you have more in you.
I think it depends. Like, Liam Sheedy left after the first time he left, after they'd just beaten Kilkenny in an epic, and many of the players retrospectively were like, what's going on here? What? No. It feels like this is somewhat different. He told Colm Keys earlier in the year that he was leaving, so it has been planned.
Yeah, it's 4 years as well in his third spell. The argument to stay is the obvious, and the second argument is that, like, you mentioned the profile of the squad. You both have, there's so much to work with. Like, just go again next year. So why would you leave this? But there's
hashtag
word where
dynasty, hashtag unstoppable.
He could be done. Like, yeah.
Tommy Rooney, good morning to you. How are you?
Morning, Ger. Morning, Arthur. Morning, Colm. How are things?
Where are you? Which hotel are you?
I am in the Burlington.
The Burlo
Hotel.
Right.
So, Kerry won, so we're in the Burlington. Yeah, it's quieter. It's a little bit quieter than it's quieter now than Tipperary were last week in terms of the little bit of buzz and excitement around the hotel. That's not to say that the celebrations weren't off the charts for Kerry last night. I think they really, really enjoyed this one. I actually can confirm they really enjoyed this one.
Some of our Kerry colleagues last seen on WhatsApp is 6:33 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, I may have been with them till about 3:33 a.m. So,
right.
Yeah.
And was it good?
Look, I think it was, like, for them to do it in the manner that they've done it, Ger. Like Jack O'Connor said it a couple of weeks ago, there's very few things as sweet in life as proving people wrong, especially in sport, in life, and that is certainly what they've done. And even going into the weekend, I actually didn't really cop it until did a little sweep before the final itself. How many people had leant towards Donegal? So it was pretty remarkable, actually, the amount of people that leant towards Donegal in the end. I ended up being in that camp too. You know, I don't know whether it was a little bit of scar tissue from the Meath game, but I expected myself to go on the record with a Kerry prediction as the week went on. But I just kind of stuck with Donegal. I thought it was going to be particularly tight. I thought it might go down to the wire, go to extra time. There's a little coffee machine going off there at the minute. Apologies about that. But
Sorry, we can't hear it.
yeah, like lads, what a sublime performance in an All Ireland final. Like,
We were stuck last night at trying to get from the Cusick back down Jones's Road, and we were stuck there, and a bunch of Kerry lads were coming. Remind Tommy what he said. Thank him for us, will you? Will you thank him for the role that he played, the key role that he played in riding us off and predicting against us? So,
yeah,
congratulations to you specifically, Tommy, for the role that you played in Kerry's win.
For sure, yeah. And look, I'll take any credit that's coming my way. Checking the post,
Has
whatever.
Brody done his lap of honour yet? Going, I was roped open y'all with my.
No, I wouldn't say I was roped open any of them. I would say that none of them actually heard what I said, and everyone's misquoting me. So, but look, you can't really explain yourself when it gets to something like this.
Sorry, can I just go back on the record here? I said there was a tier of one last week, and that was Kerry, and everybody else in the second tier, and have whatever you want. But there's a tier of one. This is the birth of a super team, Tommy. It's Kerry's world, and we're all living in it.
It's a dangerous beast to unleash some of those Kerry boys back into the wild, and I just think what Gavin White and Brino Bjuglik have done to their credentials, people were sleeping on them probably a touch. I suppose the explosion of Joe O'Connor and even Dylan Casey in the corner, who stood up this year at cornerback when Tom O'Sullivan was out injured for so long and just missed out on coming back. Dylan Gainey's emergence, right? It was his cousin Paul who kind of stole the show back in 2014 when he was the third man marked. I think Dylan Gainey ended up being the fourth man with a bit of focus on him yesterday, and he started 10 seconds in with a point. He had 3. I just think he had a great game as well. There's so much to talk about in this game, lads, but I think Kerry's the manner in which Kerry responded to the knock that they got in Tullamore, and they weren't good enough that day. They really weren't. Whether it be the injuries that had clocked up, whether it be the long season that we know all these teams have to deal with, they turned up in Tullamore that day, and Meath caught them on the hop a little bit. So, did I sow it into James a little bit on the football pod? Yeah. Do I stand over every single word that I said that day? Yeah. Am I getting it in the neck? Are my DMs in bits? Are some of the Kerry boys probably a little bit looking at me like, we heard what you said, / we were told what you said, and it was twisted a little bit, and we took it to heart. That's fair enough. That's how it works. That's how this game goes. And it just shows you the power of the pod. That's what I would say. We're the tank. I think that's 3 All-Ireland titles now we've been thanked for in the last 5 seasons.
Kerry scored 10 seconds and 24 seconds into each half, respectively. They just burst out of the traps. The intensity was insane, and it was epitomised, I guess, by Gavin White. How do you... not so much how do you explain that performance, because it wasn't like it came from nowhere, Tommy, but can you elaborate on it, just how unbelievable it was in the middle third that Donegal just could not handle him?
Can we linger on White for a minute, Colm? Because I think it's a great place to start. And I'm not sure if any actually saw the Meath Kerry game in Tullamore. I have access sometimes to games that mightn't be on TV, and you can watch them back. There's only a couple of thousand at it. I'm not sure Donegal watched Meath Kerry in Tullamore. They may not have even had time to do it. And if they had done, they would have seen that Gavin White starts at 6 for the throw-in. He takes off the second Mark O'Shea or whoever goes into the air, and he causes absolute havoc. At the start of the second half, even when Meath were on top in that game, Carl Hickey got a black card for tearing down and rugby tackling Gavin White to the ground. Meath were ready for that pre-planned move that day. Donegal, in either half, were not ready for it. It was absolutely insane. A team that we know pride themselves on pure preparation. There was total defensive mishaps yesterday. The shape fell apart. And once plan A didn't work, like I put it to McGuinness in the press conference, I know we'll hear in a few minutes, that they looked like they were rattled once plan A didn't work. And they lost a lot of energy from it. And we know how much belief is enshrined into that squad and that county around their development under McGuinness in year 1 and 2 the first time around, and year 1 and 2 the second time around. And maybe they'll bounce back in year 3 and they'll come back bigger and better and badder than they were before. But they were probably missing that little bit of an edge that Kerry brought. And Gavin White, Colm, as you said, from the word get-go, even from the toss, lads. I was on air with James, and we were doing our little piece before the game on News Talk between 3 and half 3 as the noise in the stadium was ratcheting up. Simmering was how James put it. I'm not sure he even experienced the Kerry crowd like that before. There was just a raucous nature to it. They all brought a little bit of an edge over the last couple of weeks. Kerry fans included. I think they deserve a lot of credit. They usually get it a little bit, and we know that they've got an unbelievable core support. But in general, I thought Kerry fans were absolutely phenomenal. Gavin White wins the toss. No doubt about it. He's going down the Davin end. Kerry go after it. They have 10 2-point shots in the first half. 10. They missed 6. But David Clifford's the only one to score from play. 3. And he wins the free off McCall that O'Shea converts for the 4th. Like, that's the difference in that first half. No matter what Donegal did or the extra focus they put on him or how good and how tight Brendan McCall stuck to him, Clifford has the ability to pull the trigger from 45, 50 yards and curl it over. And even if it wasn't a 2-pointer, Ger, the energy that brings, it was a double whammy every time he pulled the trigger and went over the bar.
Why did Donegal not try 2-pointers?
A couple of things.
Well, the wind dropped, so it dropped at half time. There was like a...
Well, there's 2 things, right? There's a significant breeze in the first half, right, that they're playing against. Kieran Thompson goes off injured. There's a pocket of space that Shane O'Donnell gets the ball in the first half, and there's loads of room. And if Thompson is there, even against the wind, Thompson's pulling the trigger. He scored a double-double against Monaghan in the quarter-final when they were up against it. 2 2-pointers into the hill, into a strong wind. Thompson going was a big loss. Look, Darragh Wheel kicked 10 2-pointers in the league. He hasn't kicked one in championship football. He's come off the bench in a lot of the games. He started a couple as well. He tried a couple of long balls into Murphy that just didn't work out. Michael Langan, lads, like, he'll have bigger days. He's had a great summer, but that final passed him by. The one bit of intent that I saw from Michael Langan was when Jim O'Connor came onto the field. It was a 4-point game, and Langan tried to nail him a shoulder. Shawnee O'Shea come over with that extra bit of edge, and I nearly got a shoulder from Shawnee O'Shea in Cafe and Sen last night for some of my comments. But O'Shea goes over and puts Langan back in his box straight away. And like, that final pass Langan by, where was that aggression in the rest of the game? Like, it just, Donegal, for whatever happened, I think they got a couple of sucker punches earlier on. I think when the plan sort of was a little shaky and 4 or 5 of Kerry players got on the board, you had Dylan Gainey getting a point, Sean O'Brien getting a point, Gavin White punching through for 2 points, Paulie getting a point before David Clifford even touched the ball. And David Clifford's first 2 touches are a 2-pointer and a 2-pointer. Maybe I'm missing a touch just before the first 2-pointer. I could have missed a touch in an interception there just beforehand. But it's the 8th minute and the 10th minute, lads. And when you've got a system that's set up to stop someone and so focused on him, and it falls apart in 10 minutes, I think the oxygen went from all of them. And Michael Murphy, Oisin Gallen, I thought he was unlucky. He dropped the kick out. I thought he had a very good start to the game. Conor O'Donnell came into it. Like, did you see the stat that Maurice Brosnan had there on the full forward lines? If you give me 2 seconds, I'll get it because I don't want to butcher it. But I thought that was a huge indication in terms of the development and the difference in last year. Paddy Andrews came up between the press box at half time and said, 20 minutes into this game, there was more scores already than last year's All-Ireland final. But the bigger, more telling stat I felt was the fact that the 2 full forward lines last season, or in last year's All-Ireland final, combined for, and let me get it here so I get it right. The 6 starting inside forwards combined for 1 point from play in the 2024 All-Ireland final. The 6 starting inside forwards combined for 24 points from play in the 2025 All-Ireland final. Obviously, that includes a couple of 2-pointers for Clifford. It's still like 22 points. It's still 22 points or 21. Do you know? Absolutely off the charts. And by the way, like Paddy.
Yeah.
It already felt like 42 minutes into the game. He was on for, and I don't know, I haven't verified the 76 possession count. There was a couple of people questioning it. Some people thought it was 82. Some people thought it was in the 60s. But it felt like it was going to be a record 42 minutes into that game. And he ran the show.
It is. It's nitpicking, but actually, he was my man of the match. In the moment, he was my man of the match. Like, Gavin White was absolutely sensational. And I think, to your point, his reputation now is like the ceiling for him and for a couple of those other players of his age group. We don't know what it's going to be. I think that this could be a an incredible team, a super team, a 2 or 3, 4 in a row team if they want, if they stay fit. But I think Paudie's performance yesterday was kind of off the charts.
I saw someone try and do a Premier League list there of who would be the 100th best Premier League footballer in the game. Like, would it be an Arsenal footballer? Do you know what I mean? Would you go through all the top 6 and then they'd be, 5 from the top 6 each and that's your 30 or whatever? Or would it be, a Brentford footballer? Like, the top 3 Gaelic footballers in the country, pound for pound, like, you'd be very close to having Paudie, Shawnee and David all in there. Like, that's how good they are. That's how much of a conundrum they've caused for other teams this season. We've seen Tyrone, Armagh, Donegal set up in 3 different ways. They should have just watched that Meath game back in Tullamore.
I was going to ask you about Paudie Clifford. Like, there's definitely, like, Jim McGuinness, of course, planned for Paudie Clifford as well. Of course he did. But it looked like they didn't because of the influence that Paudie Clifford had. But that can't have been the case, Tommy.
I'm spotting, I'm looking back on my notes there, Colm, and myself and James are keeping an eye on the early doors, and we had Rorty on him at one stage, and McColgan on him another, Mogan on him in another stage. They just kept switching it and changing it, and like, even when Rorty was on him, and Rorty is Young Footballer of the Year elect, he's been absolutely exceptional. Rorty was too far off him. Like you think of the job and the style of job that Conor Myler did back in 2021, and where the two boys actually had, like, it wasn't like Myler totally nullified him. They actually had a brilliant battle that day. Like, it was an enthralling battle where they went toe to toe, and that's probably what you needed to kind of take Paudie's focus away from running the game and actually trying to beat you 1-on-1. Because he can actually just pull the strings throughout, and Donegal just got that one wrong. And yeah, like, Kerry got so much right. And I was saying during the week, and I made sure to say it during the week whenever we were discussing it, what trick are Jim and Jack going to have up their sleeve? Because both management teams were going to have something. But like, Cian O'Neill bumped into him last night. Had a little chat with him.
Go on.
Like, the work that he's done, the job that he's done, the difference he's made since he's gone in there too. I'm sure we'll hear much more of it over the next couple of weeks and months. But like, Jack has totally ripped up his backroom team. He's added plenty of fresh legs. I think they used 33 players this year. He's had loads of injuries to deal with. The new rules, like the style of All-Irelands, the type of All-Irelands. You can write a book on the different teams that Jack O'Connor has won All-Irelands with. 04, 06, 09, 22, 25. Even the ones that he lost in, is it 5? Is it 11? Is it 23? They're all such interesting finals and games, but like, an all-time great. No joke about it. No messing. No line in the sand. And I just wonder, would the competitive South Kerry animal in him wake up in a couple of days' time and say, do you know what? I may go again.
So you don't think it's done?
No, I think he's well within his rights to backtrack on that if he feels like it, I guess he definitely didn't want to be backed into the decision there and then. He definitely didn't want to be telling the world and journalists first. There's people you tell first about that sort of stuff.
But he'd already said it at the start of the year that it was going to be his last year.
He had alluded to it, yeah, for sure, in interviews. I know you referenced the one with Colm Keys earlier in the year, and he had said it in a couple of press conferences too. But like, Jack O'Connor's entitled to.
Oh, totally. And we were making the point, like, literally before we came to you. Do you leave on a high like this, or do you look at the age profile of the team and the quality of the group and think, I mean, we could do 3 in a row here? And is he 1 short of Jim Gavin?
1 short of Gavin, yeah.
And 3 short of Miko?
I think so. Good question. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's never done back to back.
They're also different though. Like, when we think of them, and there's so many great managers across the way, but like, you think of, so Gavin has the 6, or is it 7? 6.
6, yeah.
6, the 5 in a row, and he's got 13.
Yeah.
But it's such a different achievement to win in 5 with 5 different generations. Different generations, different people, different rules. Like, I think it's such a testament to what O'Connor has done. I'm not comparing one with the other, and that's a debate for another day. But I just find that endlessly fascinating, the manner in which the type of people you're managing, the type of personalities, the quality of footballer across the board. The different challenges in front of you. You know, I know in boxing, there's Usyk. Obviously, he's won all the belts. Well, I think rightfully so. The provincial championship in Ulster, that trophy should be sitting in Killarney as well this year. I think they've taken the Ulster Championship trophy too.
Clip that. Clip that.
They've united the belts. The only one that didn't win was Leinster. But me didn't win it either, so I can't even take that one.
Oh, you've forgotten that for a second.
No, I hadn't. I haven't forgotten it. Don't worry.
Did you think that it was a contest at any point, Tommy? Because like I'm reading the comments here on YouTube, and naturally enough, a lot of people are laying into Donegal saying they didn't show up. But I think that's slightly unfair, because for the first half, there was that spell where they scored 4 points in a row. And then in the second half, they did the same, but then they had 3 wides that followed it. So in the 55th minute, there was only 4 points in it. McBrearty comes on and just hits it wide. And geez, that could have changed the game. But I don't know what you thought yourself.
Yeah. I certainly didn't think it was dead, right? And I'm not sure Kerry players or management thought it was dead, because they kept going and kept pushing and stayed on it, right? There's a couple of interesting moments, Colm, along the way. Like, you talk about the manner in which they clawed it back to 5 points. You boys mentioned the Clifford buzzer beater, or maybe you haven't mentioned it yet, but the buzzer beater on the hooter, right?
Yeah.
If Donegal messed up an attack before that, I think Boyle tries the long ball into Murphy and they cross wires.
Yeah.
Kerry builds. And have you seen the behind I think it could be fan footage.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Of Clifford and McCall stalking him along the end line, and Clifford strolling around, walking, Messi-esque, like, just playing the game at a different pace, not even watching it. And he takes off the second the hooter goes, and he kicks that too. And actually, the fastest he goes is running into the dressing room, running over to get ready to go into the dressing room once the hooter goes. It's such a statement, lads. Like, the celebrations. Just the manner in which he knows how to. Aura. I don't even think aura is the word. There's another word needed for it. But to answer your question on Donegal, did I think it was dead? In the 2014 final, when things hadn't clicked for Donegal, and they got a couple of things wrong, McGuinness rolled the dice. He brought in Christy Toy, got an instant impact. People said he should have started Toy that day. But it's easy to say that after the fact, once a plan doesn't work, it's easy to kind of pick holes in it. He brought on McBrearty that day. A lot of people said he could have started him. He kicks 2 points and he drags Donegal back into it. He lights a fire under Donegal. Then Donaghy gets the goal. But McBrearty is a live wire for the rest of the game, and Donegal fall short at the end. Yesterday, when McBrearty comes in on 44, he has Donegal have just pulled it back to 4 points. And they miss 2 shots in the D. McBrearty misses 1, and young Conor O'Donnell, who was brilliant, misses 1. I'm not talking about the 2-point D. I'm talking about the inside D, the 75% zone that we know all about over the last couple of years. And they were key moments. And it felt like whenever Kerry needed that extra bit of fire, that extra bit of oxygen, they got it. Whether it was a Gavin White line break, whether it was a Joe Connor fetch from a kick out, whether it was Bruno Biogliuk, who made actually an unbelievable interception at a key time. The fine line between Sean Patton's kick outs coming off and setting up a goal chance, or else a Kerry interception and the crowd going absolutely nuts, was so tight yesterday at times. There was one that Patton punched low, straight down the middle. I wouldn't even call it a 6-iron. I'd call it a 4-iron that he absolutely whips at a low pace. And Murphy's trying to use his body to turn and take it in and around the centre channel, past halfway line. And Bruno Biogliuk on Farron Gaeltacht comes flying across and wins it low. Mark O'Shea wins another kick out, lads, on his knees low. Absolutely unbelievable win. And Kerry had those moments. Donegal didn't. Donegal had one of them, if you remember it. There was a 3-man turnover on Clifford in the first half. They go up the field and Michael Murphy kicks a point from play. They steal the next kick out and they get another point from play. And you're just thinking, generate a 2-pointer, create a goal opportunity, take it. But they just didn't have it, lads. I think they had such a focus on their zonal defence and shutting down Clifford. And Kerry's approach was the opposite. It was aggression. It was attacking. It was intent. It was taking the game by the throat. And I would just say that's incredibly positive for all the copycat coaches out there, and there's loads of them. There's a lot of good things to take from this season. And Kerry, whoever won it, right? I'm just happy to see a team aggressively winning All Ireland. Not conservatively, but aggressively winning All Ireland.
Is zonal marking in Gaelic football bullshit?
No, but it's incredibly hard to do.
Is it not bullshit?
It's not bullshit. It can be done, but it has to be done in a certain way. at certain times.
But
certain people are trying to do it.
Surely the space is far too big.
At times, yeah. If you've got too
doesn't
many,
it automatically leave pockets of room for Gaelic footballers who can use their hands? It's not like soccer where you can ping a ball and there's a pocket of space for a half forward or somebody who's drifted into an inside right or an inside left, and there's no way that you can actually close the zone.
Yeah. I would say it's dead yet, Ger. And the reason I'd say that is I don't think any of us have fully figured out how to defend and how to attack with the new rules yet. I think you're right. I think the old ways are gone. But I don't think anyone has cracked the code yet. But what it is doing is it's creating one-on-one opportunities, okay? One-on-one opportunities across the field. And if you can take your man on one-on-one and buy yourself half a yard or skin him on the outside and you have the ability to take your shot, you're in an unbelievable place. Previously, you'd be going into a 3-on-1 and you just get turned over. And that can't exist anymore, because if you use a skip pass to go around the outside, if you bring it around the arc, if you shift the defence, you can shift 8 far easier than you can shift 11. And if that defence already has 2 or 3 to focus on, like David Clifford spent so much of that game on the sideline, on the 60, with McCall stalking him. And McCall was interested in watching that battle, lads. But there was a game going on beyond them. And when Clifford decided he wanted to punch and make an impact, boy, did he. And he made absolute use of it. And Ger, I just wouldn't be as definitive that zonal is dead, but only because I haven't figured out exactly the best way it should be done yet. I haven't a clue. I haven't a breeze. We've club championship again on Saturday, and I'm sure we'll be told which way to push and pull and mark and twist and change, and every club around the country trying to figure that out at the minute.
Was it a good final?
I think it was a sublime performance from Kerry, and I thought it was a good. I thought it was a good All Ireland final for that reason. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, there's different ways of appreciating it. Yeah, Donegal were flat and Donegal were disappointing, but you're not always going to get two teams going toe to toe in that fashion. But Kerry, lads, it was just exemplary. It's just honestly it was just an exemplary All-Ireland performance to cap off a season where there were so many questions. And if you just let me go here, I might be able to grab somebody for us in a minute. Hopefully I can tap up somebody in a couple of minutes for you between 8 and 9.
Lovely.
But just exemplary, lads, because it is particularly quiet. I've only spotted one Kerry player arriving down. We might let him get his breakfast first and see how he's feeling. But has there always been like this? Most All-Ireland final mornings, we have somebody.
8, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Clifford this year was playing with, there's a Twitter account, Angry Running Backs, where, they have these kind of runs that the running back does where he's running angry and breaking tackles. Clifford seemed to be taking everything personally this year and was playing at a level that was definitive. Like, it was, there was no room for anybody going, there was no whining about anything except he's here. This is the ascension. I actually thought he was 27. He's still only 26. That's kind of outrageous. But he did say, I had the opportunity to take stock this year. I've had 6 or 7 great years with Kerry and I've only won All Ireland. Jesus, that's not enough. I think the All Ireland final, this is the coronation of a team. That's why we're going to look back on this and go, oh, obviously. But Clifford's, the level he's at is something that we haven't seen before.
Look, there's a reason we speak about him in the way that we do. There's a reason kids all over the country follow him. There's a reason there's this Beatlemania with him. He is that good, lads. He is that good. And the leadership of him, lads, he embraces everything. I even loved his answer on being called the greatest of all time by the likes of Desi Farrell and Jim McGuinness the week before All Ireland finals. Because you're always cognizant when you're chatting to people and interviewing them for any sort of, even in any walk of life, when you're having a conversation with someone, what's the angle here? What's the reason that they're telling me this? Why are they approaching me in this scenario? And it's much the same even in work, when, especially in this game, when you're trying to figure out angles and tactics and and this, that, and the other. But the manner in which he took the effusive praise he might get from opposition managers in the build-up to All-Ireland finals, and he took it as a hit. Like, there's a bang of Sexton, there's a bang of McElroy, there's a bang of Roy Keane off how he embraces it, and just the credit that he deserves, that his club deserves, that his family deserves, that his team deserve, his county deserve, and the manner in which his career has grown and his trajectory in terms of a footballer, which has always been prodigious, but also his personality around it, his leadership, as I mentioned. He's got, lads, it's the full package. And like, Hawley, as a compliment to him, as an addition, as an extra edge, like, young Ogie nearly looks like he's ready to tug out as well. From the last All-Ireland final, when he was sitting in the cup, he was chasing down Sam Maguire yesterday on the field. So, look, I just think unbelievable credit is due their way for the manner in which they handle it all. It's kind of put their way. Like, there's an awful lot of talent there, but I just think there's good people there too. So it's very impressive, and like, what a joy to watch. Like, I think sometimes in sport you come across a rivalry or a group or a type of footballer, and if you don't appreciate it at the time, you're wasting your time. Like, what are you at, like? So
we'll let you go and talk to some of the triumphant Kerry team, Tommy. Thanks.
Okay.
Congratulations on the role you played again, from all the Kerry fans out there who were delighted.
That aspect was bullshit.
Well, it's we're written off.
Well, such not. It's every time.
Paddy made sure to mention it.
I know.
3-4 times afterwards, immediately.
Limerick did it after one of the Munster finals. Darragh O'Donovan, who I'd like have a great time for, but saying everyone wrote us off. It's like, they didn't.
I don't know. It's powerful. It's powerful motivation, even if it is fanciful.
We don't believe it's true,
even if it's delusional.
Like, it's not true. Like, because everyone wasn't saying you're definitely going to win the All-Ireland.
It's a fascinating game, right? Because most of the country didn't see it. So they just heard about how bad they were at this Meath game, and then they're written off, right? So it's almost gone in mythology, that match. Like, Radio Kerry was the source for that game, and you hear them being exasperated in a biased manner, and then they are written off both internally and externally.
There's an air of finality around Kerry after losing to Meath. The problem isn't the injuries. There's that so many of the next wave of players are untested at the highest level of football. Darragh O'Shea in the Irish Times.
That's one person.
I know, but
like, if that call him out,
well, they did.
Yeah, but so I mean, but
you're saying it didn't happen.
Just
it happened a bit.
But like,
obviously locally it happened a lot.
Okay, but like, I still don't think that. It's just, I don't know. I'd be very interested to know, because it's obviously a very, it's a routine thing that teams use. Every team's been written off to win All Ireland. Yeah, like, it's the most ludicrous thing.
But it's a handy, because Donegal have been written off once this year. They had a Tyrone game, and they were disappointing, but it wasn't more being written off, and Kerry were, and it's a powerful thing. The perception of disrespect gets people going big time, and Paddy wanted to make that point abundantly clear minutes after winning the All Ireland.
But it is funny, because like, I don't exactly, you'll correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't know his exact career trajectory, but like, I got it, like, if I'm recalling it right, like, he didn't really, his prominence kind of coincided with Dave's, despite being a few years older, didn't he? Again, I just want to fill me in, but it is interesting between him, and then you have from Jack O'Connor right down, who obviously sort of had a perennial chip on his shoulder at certain points with how he approached things, and kind of obviously a little bit of an outsider, not having the playing career. It's an interesting dynamic for Kerry that they'd come in with that way. But like, I don't know. Like, if it goes the other way, then it's like the same thing. And again, you bring it back to a similar thing, like last year, the year before with Kylie, the same thing. Like, what people have been saying about us building us up is ridiculous. So what? You can't win. It's obviously just a technique.
Am I right in saying that Paddy's evolution has been, he was his brother who also played in the team?
Yes, I think so.
To the point now where he's critical.
We should get into this.
Yeah.
Reminder of the World Breakfast is with UPMC Orthopedic Care. When things don't move, rotate or bend like they used to, choose us to help get back in action. We'll talk more about their writing us off issue, because it's going to be a long winter now that everything's over.